The Right to Life sponsors an essay contest every year for middle and high school students across the state. They write their thoughts on the statement, "Why I am pro-life." Over the years, we have had hundreds of South Dakota youth submit their essays for our review. Today you will hear two essays from our two first place winners. First, we'll hear from Sophie Schwebach, our junior division first place winner from Del Rapids, and then Melissa Thompson, who will be reading the essay of senior division first place winner Joselyn Wipf from Huron, who could not be with us today. Please join me in welcoming these two beautiful young ladies to the stage.
American actor, writer, and director Matt Walsh once said, "Abortion has nothing to do with reproductive rights. Once the baby exists, reproduction is over. You can't prevent what already happened." This is so true when it comes to the debate of being pro-life and pro-choice. Being pro-life doesn't mean you're against women's rights, and it also doesn't mean you're against women being able to have the access to various forms of birth control. However, like Matt Walsh once said, after the baby is beginning to grow, the reproductive part is over. I am pro-life because abortions completely take away a living being's opportunity to have a life. Abortion removes potential contributors to society. When a woman chooses to have an abortion, she is deciding to take the future of a person. God had a plan for that person, and that plan could have changed society as we know it. For example, a person that was aborted could have cured cancer. However, because their life was ended, they never got the opportunity to do so. Every human has an opportunity to change the world, and through abortion, millions of babies are stripped of that opportunity. Abortion goes against the right to life. The 14th Amendment states, "Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property." In other words, every citizen of the United States has a right to life. Many people argue that a fetus is not a person or a human being, but rather a clump of cells. Although at 6 weeks, a fetus has a heartbeat. Over 60% of abortions are done after the 6-week mark. Therefore, 60% of abortions are done on humans that are certainly not just a clump of cells. Lastly, there are better options than abortion. Adoption is never not an option. In fact, it is a great option. About 10% of women and 15% of couples worldwide have fertility problems. That amounts to over 48.5 million couples globally. Many of these couples want children, and their only way to get that child is a surrogate mother or adoption. With adoption, you give many couples, single men and single women, the opportunity to have a family. You also give that baby the opportunity to change society for the better. I am pro-life because abortions removes people who could give something positive to society. Abortion is unconstitutional, and there are always other options. Many pro-choice advocates argue that a fetus is just a clump of cells. However, I argue that it is a life. There will never be a good excuse to strip an innocent baby of the opportunity to fulfill the plan God has for you. We need to stand up for those who cannot stand up for themselves and fight to make abortions illegal.
Close your eyes and imagine the steadiest sound in the world. Whether it's the sound of shifting gears in your dad's pickup, the pitter-patter of bare feet on a hardwood floor, or the laughter of your little brother. The steadiest sound in the world to me is a heartbeat. 80 times a minute, 100,000 times a day. Your heartbeat is a steady reminder that the life you live is a gift. But what if your existence, the sum of your minutes, was cut short? No inherently sinful human being should get to decide if someone lives or dies. That is the bitter irony of the issue. God gave us life to preserve, to cherish, and we throw it back at him in his face as the ultimate act of defiance. This is a slap in the face to God because he created us in his image before the beginning of time itself. It is his breath that fills our lungs with every breath we take, with every beat of our hearts. You are God's greatest work, his masterpiece, created with a purpose. At the moment of conception, that single cell is a baby. When a heartbeat is taken away from these babies, who never get the chance to try this crazy thing we call life, it makes me sad. It saddens me because what do you go through in life that makes you think that a precious baby does not matter? That these tiny humans don't have value? As humans, we put value in a lot of things. Some people place value in things of little consequence while flippantly taking the ultimate gift away. There are those who see the issue of abortion as black and white, as wrong, until it happens to them. Until they are forced to make a decision that will alter their lives. Then suddenly, everything looks gray, and they're at a crossroads. Whichever road they choose to walk will leave their life changed. As Christians, we know that life has value, that God gave it to us with a purpose in mind. So what we do when we see abortions happening around us matters. We cannot just close our ears to the cry of God's heart, but we also cannot throw judgment on people. So what then are we to do? We are called to seek justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with our God. This passage from Micah 6:8 accurately sums up God's heart for his children. So stand up with love, not hate. In this beautifully messy game of life, do not just be a spectator. Don't just sit on your hands in the bleachers of apathy and wish that things would change. Change cannot happen unless we are willing to get our hands dirty on someone else's mess. By showing them love instead of condemnation, we are being the hands and feet of Jesus. Love is action. Choose to be love.